here is where many people consider the lower Hillsborough River to start, below the dam. Of course, it continues behind that island. A few islands have built up, have giant leather fern and Brazilian pepper trees. Usually not that much water flowing over, I guess because of the recent rains. And you also see floating water hyacinths that collect in the reservoir. Commonly see them spilling over, and because the water is brackish, they'll slowly die over time, and they accumulate somewhere in the river or the bay. But generally, there's not that much water flowing into the lower Hillsborough during not so floodwater seasons, which usually, the past few times I've been here, there's always people fishing right here, I guess because of the water pressure coming out. Actually, yeah, I think you can see some water hyacinths right there. Yeah, but usually this is way more brackish, salty than it should be if this were still a wild, pristine river. But still pretty neat to see. Yeah, it's a longer, I don't know if the total length is longer than the Withlacoochee River Dam and the what's it called, Ocklawaha-Rodman Dam, but the structure itself, whereas the Withlacoochee and the Ocklawaha Dam are mostly earthen, the land is kind of built up, and you have just a few floodwater gates. The Hillsborough River is just mostly gates. So yeah, during dry seasons, of course, the reservoir, the upper Hillsborough, although the water level will go down definitely for how much water is used, for even if the Hillsborough has a bunch of tributaries, all the tributaries and the main river water will continue to go down. I can see some water hyacinth floating by right there. Of course, the main environmental issues are not above the dam, they're below the dam because of a general lack of fresh water, especially during drought season. The fish need fresh water. They need that dissolved oxygen. Also considering that there's stormwater runoff and general pollutants yeah, it's not as pristine as it should be or used to be, but, and this is not what most people think about when they think about Hillsborough River. Also have some limestone, pretty neat to see. First time going over here because usually there's people fishing here. It's pretty neat. So yeah, I think you can catch snook and bass over here, but my money would probably be more on catching more snook and hardhead catfish than pure freshwater species, because this is much more brackish. And you can't actually walk across the dam. They have it blocked off, unlike the Withlacoochee Dam and Ocklawaha Dam you can walk across. I guess because they use the dam for so much of the fresh water. So many people in the Tampa area depend on reservoir for fresh water, for tap water. But still, if you've never been out here, you live around here, definitely recommend visiting at least once. Oh yeah, pretty broad, pretty swift flowing, but this is the first time I've seen like basically all the floodwater gates open, or partially open. Usually it's only like only that one on the left, or even there, because you can tell on that far left one. I don't know, but you see all those birds up on the dam too. They usually hang out there all the time. So yeah, from here continues uninterrupted to Tampa Bay, and this is right near Sulphur Springs, and pretty close to Sulphur Spring. have a few other springs that, there's a water hyacinth right there, a few that washed in. So you can tell the floodwater has been higher. Definitely some ancient rock, relatively. And so yeah, this stretch definitely way more different than above the dam. I'll get into that.